Hey everyone, Joy Brooks with Email and Coffee on this sweaty day 2 of the East Coast heat wave. So I'm talking today with Michelle. It's Petties.
Pettis. Pettis.
Pettis.
hmm
I should have asked that, but hello. Correct me when I'm wrong. Please, oh Lord. We're going to be talking about food. And I'll let Michelle tell us a lot more about herself than I could possibly know. Go for it.
I want to say this. My name is Michelle Pettis, Petties. Generally, if people get the P, the T, and the S, I'll say what? Right? I'll just answer. But yeah, we're going to be talking about food, Joy. But I think we're going to go deeper than just food. We're going to be talking about food. We're going to be talking about emotion. We're going to be talking about culture. We're going to be talking about tradition. And shoot, if we have time, we may even throw in some trauma because it is all connected. It is all connected. The way that we manage food, the way that we deal with food in this culture, it is not a separate issue. I struggled with food addiction and obesity for 40 years. It is a very, very complex topic. It is not simplistic at all, but it is where all these things converge in our head and then they manifest themselves on our body.
If it tastes, if it feels good, do it. And that's the problem. That's the problem. It's like we were taught, if it feels good, do it.
Yes.
Well, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Maybe not. And so it is, we, like I said, this is layered, but it is about really informed choices. And I get it. If it feels good, do it. But it's not about if it feels good in this moment, do it. Is it gonna feel good and be good for you later on? Because it is just like children. Like when we're kids, what 4-year-old wants to go to school? 4-year-olds just want to play. All right, if we are ascribing to that, if it feels good, do it. Children would never go to school because all they want to do is play. But because parents have more sense and they're thinking about the long term, something down the future, like, okay, you're going to go to school, but then you can play. But you do have to go to school. You do have to learn. You do have to get an education, right? So, and then the work of pouring into yourself is, the work of pouring into yourself will feel good eventually. So it's about having a vision for the longer game. I mean, whether you're talking about food or whether you're talking about money. Okay, it feels good to spend the money now, right? But then 40 years from now, when I'm broke, it won't feel so good. So we have to shift our thinking about, yeah, let's focus on feeling good, but focus on feeling good in a way that actually benefits us long term and does not cause us harm.
It's it's difficult because when we're taught to socially bond over food, you know, the, there's so many cultures that are basically built on eat, finish your plate. You hungry? Here. You
Yes,
don't feel good? Here. You
yes,
know,
yes,
um, and it's built on that, and it shows.
yeah,
And aside from that, um, even if you've had a little bit of common sense drummed into you, you watch television, and I mean, not that we're all watching television anymore, but whenever we see any type of commercial, um, we're told how great the product is. Doesn't matter. It could be any kind of a product. Doesn't
mhm,
matter. But the point is, we're so convinced. I mean, take a look at the Super Bowl
mhm,
and Doritos.
mhm, mhm.
We're still eating Doritos.
So where you're talking about, Joy, I think is something that is so critical, and that is consciousness. Like, aware. awareness. And one of the things that I really credit my stepfather for growing up is we as kids we would be watching television, and he would say when the commercials come on, he'd say, "You know that's not real, right?" I mean, he put the doubt in early. You know, you know that this is just television. You know that's not real. That's not their real. This they're not really there. There, and so those seeds he planted early in terms of don't believe everything that you see. Don't believe everything that's presented to you. Look beyond what's actually being presented. But but the advertising that you just mentioned, Joy, it is just a one of the elements that has us in the state that we're in when it comes to food. Oh, so it's advertising. And then the fact that the processed food is so accessible. It is everywhere. You see, I'm old enough to remember when cigarette machines used to be everywhere. I'm old enough to remember that, right? And then the government started to regulate tobacco, and then tobacco took their addiction business model, and applied it to snack food and junk foods. So now instead of cigarette machines, we now have snack food and junk food machines everywhere. So now we've got accessibility, and we've got the advertising that starts at an early age. So our brains start getting hijacked very early on to convince us to eat stuff that is not good for us. From with pictures, with colors, with cartoons, with testimonials, with oh, this is fun, with everything other than the fact that this is nutritious. So what happens is we see this over and over again for years, for decades. It becomes our truth. We start to believe it's true because the snack food companies, the junk food companies, the fast food companies, they are profiting on our belief that this stuff that they're actually pushing on us is actually food. And they're convincing us to eat for pleasure. And that's the reason to eat rather than nutrition and nourishment, rather than eating to protect our lives so that we can survive, so that we can thrive, right? We're at the stuff that's actually being pushed upon us is costing us our lives. It's costing our lives and our health. So we've got advertising that's been pushed upon us. We've got this addiction business model. We've got the fact that it starts at an early age. We've got the fact that it's accessible. And then we also have the fact that it's affordable. All this stuff, they make it cheap. They make it cheap. So all these things really put us as a population at risk because we don't even know what we don't know because we've heard it for so long and we see it so much that it is our reality until we get clear.
How, I know you do this for a living, so how do you help people regiment themselves or get them out of the old and into the new?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it is a thought process, and I mean, I'm so I'm so bad that I cannot even go out and eat
yeah,
because I don't know what the food is, and
yeah,
if I don't know what's in the food, I can't eat it.
absolutely.
So
And
I'm that bad. But
that
other people don't need to be that bad. How
and
do you how do you begin to teach people?
and so Joy, I wouldn't even say that you're that bad. I would say that you are that good. I would say that you are that vigilant. I would say that it is that important to you. I mean, you aren't the only person that I know. I have a few people that do not eat out, right? I grew up. Now that I look back on it, I grew up with my grandparents, but I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and I remember being with her, and we'd go different places, and people would say, "Would you like, would you like something to eat? Would you like this? Would you like that?" And she would always refuse. I mean, they were being hospitable, right? They were being. It was part of being gracious. And but my grandmother would always say, Nathan, she didn't eat it, and it just kind of like resonated with me, later on. And I'm like, well, what you got? You got some cookies in there because I'm game. So so this this notion of not eating out, it's not anything new. But because we again are bombarded with messages from advertising that tells us to eat out, that everybody else is eating out, that it's the only way that you can bond, it's the only way that you can have a good time, that right, that everybody else is doing it, food must be the center of it. We start to believe that it's true until we realize that it's not true and we can do something different. So to get back to your question, there are multiple ways to do it, but what what I teach, Joy, is I teach transformation. I teach that we have to fundamentally change what we believe about food and its purpose in order to survive in this culture that wants us to eat on appearance, taste, smell, and pleasure. And what I mean by that is that once you just get dialed into, and this is what happened to me, once I get dialed into the fact that food's purpose is nutrition and nourishment, the only problem that it solves is hunger, then I've started to make different decisions and being conscious of it. And there's steps to it. You just don't wake up one day and do it, right? 40 years of doing it wrong, you have to learn step by step. You have to research, and you have to understand the decision. And this was big for me. The decision was not about what I was eating or even what was on my plate. The decision was about, how do I want to live? What do I want my life to look like? Right. And so once I started to understand that everything I put in my mouth is either going to cure me or kill me, it's going to hurt me or heal me, nothing is neutral. I started to look at stuff differently. And so the process is this. I do. Thank you for asking the question, because I do have an 8-step process for transformation. First, you have to believe. First, you have to believe that it's possible for you to change. That's the first thing. And then you have to believe in that belief. You have to believe that you are worth the change, that you deserve something different, that you deserve something better. And then you begin. Then you begin with baby steps. Right. The second is this is around this consciousness, becoming aware, understanding what your story is, understanding what what lies you have been told, what things you have um, uh, what things you have misinterpreted, those disempowering beliefs that are driving you. We have to unpack them and know what we already think, because everything that we are right now is a product of what we think and believe. And, and so once we start to unpack, oh, I believe this. Is it really true? I mean, do I have to come home from work and get something to eat and then go to bed? Or can I just come home and go to bed? And why do I believe that I have to come home and eat and then go to bed? Where did that come from? Right? Why do I think I have to have meat at every meal? Why where did where did that come from? Right? Why do I think that just because someone offers me something, I must eat it and take it? Where did that is that true? Right? So you start unpacking those things to see if it's true or not. And you start rewriting the story. Oh, no, I don't have to do that. Right? Oh, my plate must be full. Well, shoot, back in the day, in the 1920s or the 30s, or whenever people were working in farms and factories and they had hard jobs, yeah, they were burning up a lot of calories. They needed a big plate of food to get to keep them nourished throughout the day. I don't work in a factory or a farm. I don't need the same kind of food on my plate. you know, you know? That, but if that's what you grew up and that's what you saw, and you're not making an adjustment, and you don't know that that's what it is, you think that oh, I got a good meal, right? Right? I got and a good meal means it's big. Right? A good meal means it's big. So we start looking at those stories that are driving us, and we start rewriting them for our health in present day, in present time, for what we want for our health in the future. Then we have to get real clear on what is nutritious and nourishing, because I mean, think about it. You go to a grocery store, Joy, and I was just doing a workshop. I said, you go to a grocery store, and every grocery store, there are the two aisles that say the health food aisle. Now, my question is, if this aisle is the health food aisle, then what is everything else in the store? And here's the other thing. Don't think that just because it's in the health food aisle that it's healthy. Don't get that twisted. So we have to do the research. We have to understand that some of the things the way that the food was manufactured 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it's not the same food. Today it is not the same thing. So know what it's doing to your body. I mean, I just saw this post on Facebook, and it broke my heart in many ways. And there was a woman who had these pin sticks in her arm because she found out that she was allergic to so many things. And there were things that she ate when she was growing up. Now she's older. Sometimes you do develop allergies as you get older. And she said, I was wondering why I was itching so much. And then I got the food allergy test, and then I got some Benadryl. And so now I got
My face just dropped.
wait. Now I got the Benadryl, so now I can eat the stuff that makes me itch. Well, so that's the itching, the swelling, the redness is your body telling you, I don't like this. This ain't good, right? But but we override it because there's stuff that allows us to override it, right? Oh, lactose intolerant? Here, take this pill, right? Take so but your body is saying this is not for me. So we have to understand that our food should not hurt us. And what's good for everybody is what's good for one person is not good for the next person. But there are a lot of things that are bad for everybody. There are certain things that are poisonous, no, poisonous to everyone's system. So it's getting that information and understanding this is, if once you get the information and you find out that something is bad for you, it's bad for your health, and you still want to eat it, that's addiction. So we have to call it what it is. And once you realize that it's addiction, then you treat addiction differently than you just weight loss. Because addiction impacts our brain. It changes our brain. So there are different things that we must do to transform an addictive brain to a non-addictive brain. And that's what I teach people how to do. So this is the story. And then it's alignment and accountability. And so, there's a saying that says you can't fix what you don't face, right? And so I'm I'm on the scale. I'm on the scale checking, because sometimes stuff will show up in your body before you even consciously realize what's going on. You think you're doing everything right, then you're like, what? What's going on, right? So if we want to measure it, if we want to manage it, we have to measure it. Although, I mean, all their little sayings you got, they mean something. They're tools to help us and for us to stay in alignment. I had somebody that I was coaching, and she was telling me about what went on in another group, and she said, we had cheat days, days when we could eat whatever we want, right? And my question is, and you decide to do what you want to do, but who are you cheating? And where else in your life would cheating be okay? I mean, right? So if you are a person that honors your body, right, then you do that 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, or at least you strive to. Who says, okay, I tell the truth Monday through Friday, but on Saturday and Sunday I just lie because I can. I take a break from telling the truth. Who does that? Right? Then why would we become a different person? Oh, well, I don't work out when I go on when I'm on vacation. I don't work out. What do you take yourself with you when you're on vacation? Right? So it's that kind of thinking, alignment. Who being true to yourself, right? Figuring out how to do that in the face of all these messages that tell us that it's something else. So alignment and accountability, nutrition and nourishment, I talked about that. And then the other principle is all part of being brand new, is what I call DSW. And that's called drink, sleep, right. And it's not the shoes. It is not the shoes. Although I love a good pair of shoes, I'm not talking about that. But the
Who
drinking,
doesn't?
the drink sleep right. Those are the three things that I never did in 40 years of losing weight and gaining weight, losing and gaining. Over 700 years, I would lose 30 pounds, excuse me, over 40 years, 700 pounds, I would lose 30, gain 40, lose 40, gain 50, lose 50. I could never keep it off. And what I never did during those 40 years was I never did the work to change my brain, to change my thinking, to change my beliefs, to change my thoughts. And writing the W in DSW is so critical for that. And I have this process that I teach that's called prescriptive writing. I didn't think it was important. I thought the only thing was important was how much can I eat and what can I have. That's the only thing I focused on. What can I eat? How much of it can I have? I never got to sleep because I didn't know that addiction and obesity was a disease. And the way that we manage disease, the way that we support ourselves when we're in a disease state is through rest. Is it that sleep, 8 hours of sleep? Yeah, I was sleep deprived. When you get the sleep that you're supposed to get, you're not as stressed. I deal with so many people that say stress is my problem. Well, how much are you sleeping? I mean, impulse control. I mean, because we live in this world that wants us to be reactive, right? So when you get to sleep, you it helps your body process the toxins. It helps your body process thoughts. It makes you stronger throughout the day. I never got to sleep because I was on the fast track, if you will, and I certainly never drank the water. But I did drink, but I did drink wine. I don't know. I mean, the Bible says Jesus turned water into wine. I'm like, well, whatever the case is, just do not disturb. I don't know why this do not disturb is not working. Um, so that, drink the water. Drinking the water, because when you drink the water, sometimes you realize I'm not really hungry. What I am is thirsty, right? What I am is thirsty, but you never give yourself a chance to figure that out. So that's the D. The next is the N in new, which is what I say, no is the new yes. When you decide what you want to say yes to in this life, how you want to show up, how you want to feel, how you want to look, it gives you the power to stand in your nose. You don't feel weak. So if somebody says, "Are you sure you sure you don't want some of this? It sure is good," right? You can say no and mean it, right? Are you sure? Because we have extra, right? I'm paying, right? All these things, right? I made this just for you. No, because you have a different vision. So you can stand it. You can stand in that. And then E stands for evaluate, ask, and think. And I think of all the things that I said, this was a starting point for me. This was the most powerful. And we have to ask, I had to ask the hard questions. So I teach people to ask the hard questions and to be able to be okay with whatever the answer is. I mean, first of all, evaluating everything you put in your mouth. Everything. I do this to this day. What is it? Is it really food? How do I know it's food? Right? Am I hungry or am I something else? Am I lonely? Am I tired? Am I frustrated? What am I really feeling? Was I hungry a few minutes ago or did it just happen? What did I just see? What did I just read? What did I just think about? Why this food now? Why this particular thing? Right? And if this is not going to give me the body I say I want, why am I eating it? It's just a few questions, but those are a starting place. And what those questions do is that they keep you from being reactionary. You can make decisions from a place of consciousness and awareness rather than a place of addiction. And that's not to say that you won't always make the same decision, but you'll never ever not understand why you're eating a certain thing. It'll never happen. And as that understanding starts to roll over you, then you can start making the shifts. Then you can start being more conscious. Then you can start being different and making different choices. And then finally is the W. And that's when you go, wow, I'm worth it. Because if you do all that stuff that I just said, that's a process. That's a process, and we need to celebrate the process. We need to celebrate the baby steps. We need to celebrate the growth, which we don't always give ourselves credit for. So many times I'm working with people, and they'll say, "Oh, geez, all this week I only lost 1 pound," and I am like, "Are you kidding me? Wait, 1 pound? First of all, we don't gain weight a pound at a time. We gain it ounces at a time. That's how it sneaks up on us. It's so imperceptible we don't even recognize it. And we're not going to lose it a pound at a time. No matter what the advertising say, we're not losing it, because all this weight is wrapped up in thoughts and beliefs and feelings that we have to release that. We have to release the weight that is in our head before we can release the weight that is in our body, truly. And so, but when you release a pound and you think about all the emotion that is trapped up in that pound, we need to celebrate that. We need to clap on that. We need to jump up and down, because before you can lose 50, you got to lose one. Before you can lose 100, you got to lose one. And if you lose 1 pound 100 times, now you've done something. We celebrate the one, right? Celebrate the one, it gives you the confidence to step into two, and then into three. And all of these things that I just talked about, what makes it successful is when you do it in community, right? Because this is all new stuff. We're all learning, right? And for the most part, the world is not reinforcing transformation. What the world is saying, take this 6 week, boot camp, take these pills, have this surgery, do this program. And if you're looking to transform, it takes small steps over time. Small steps. And you need to do it in a community that is going to support you and reinforce you. And that's what I offer, a community of support of people that are on this same transformation road. I don't know if you want an explanation that long, but that's what you got.
The point of the matter is that it really takes. I was almost going to say a village, but I don't want to go there. It really takes a lot of yourself to realize I wasn't on track. I mean, it's really simple. It shouldn't be the guilt factor. That's not what it should be. You should try to release the concept of, oh, I did a bad thing and I'm a bad person, so I should just keep doing it because I'm not worthy. And
Right.
it's not that. That's
Right.
not what you should be thinking. You should be thinking, like you said, I am worthy. This is a temple, and I want to do the right thing to the temple. I want to wake up in the morning. I don't necessarily need to say, oh, I'm the most gorgeous creature in the world. That's not the point. The point is, you know what? I did the right thing.
I did the right thing.
I'm
Yes.
not saying to myself, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that third piece of pizza. The point is, you shouldn't have the first piece of pizza. I'm just saying. It's,
But
the mindset is very difficult, and having that community to start with, and I think you mentioned workshops, so we'll get back to it, but having the community is very important in the beginning, because I'm totally an island. I'm totally an island. When I'm talking with my friends, they know, oh, well, Joy's not going to go out there. Oh, Joy's not going to meet us at this restaurant. Oh, don't ask Joy for, to go out on a Saturday night to go to the bar. Oh, everyone knows.
uh-huh,
And I get left out,
uh-huh.
and I don't care. And the point is, I built up, okay, call me selfish. All right, whatever. I've built up a whole bunch of things that I like to do. A few of my friends, I share it with this one, that I share that one with this. Not everybody likes to do everything that I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends likes to do gardening. One of my friends likes to go for walks. Blah, 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 blah. So I have, I've built my life around things that I've discovered I like, that I've also understood are good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I'm 69. It took me a really long time to say, I'm not popular, and I don't care. I don't care. When I post something on Facebook, I don't have a million people saying, "Oh yeah, yeah." I don't have all those words that that other people say that make everybody feel good. I don't care. It's just me. I'm doing the best I can. I have my little garden. I have my dogs. I have the bread that I make myself. I have the soup that I like. I have these steps, and there's steps that I follow. And when one doesn't work, I have to say, "Oh, this isn't working." Oh, you know what? Eating too much bread. Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I can only have this much bread because when I have this much bread, it doesn't work well. I get full
Yes.
stuffy, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is. And I'm careful about that. When my body goes, I'm like, what was that? What was that? I know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to the doctor and say, what pills do you have? I'm like, doc, this is not working. Something's wrong. What is it? Doctors don't even understand me. What is it? What's wrong here? Well, you could take a statin for that. I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. So guess what? I don't eat any meat anymore
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just trying to see, can I control it? If it's totally outside my control, okay, then I need to control it. But if and knock on wood, if I were told that I was diabetic, first thing I would do would be diet. And I
Mm-hmm.
would tell the doctor, can I handle this with diet? What can we do here? Because I don't want to take medication. I want to do the right thing for my body. Is my body warning me or is it shutting down?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's shutting down, that's serious.
Yes. Yes.
So, with that speech next to your speech, you mentioned workshop. I want to talk about that because I think it's pretty important for people. Just because I did it myself doesn't mean everybody can. I'm a DIY girl, um, but that doesn't mean everybody else is. So, how do you help people?
Yeah, sure. Um, so to your point, Joy, everybody is different, right? But there are a couple things that happen when you're in community, right? This that we're struggling with, that I struggled with for so long, addiction, obesity, it is a disease of isolation. Addiction is a disease of it finds its power in that darkness, and when it's the only thing in your voice telling you that this is the only thing that's going to work, right? That you shouldn't try it again. So, or you shouldn't try, or you're not worth it, or whatever thoughts that come up. Um, but when you're in a group and you have other people that listen to you, right? That let you know that you're important, your voice is important, right? When you're able to support someone else, do something for somebody else, right? That shifts your energy, right? When you're helping someone else, and that happens in group. When you're able to celebrate with someone else, right? Then that lets you know that that celebration is possible for you. When you have a challenge, oh, I don't know what to do when I'm bored. I eat when I'm bored. And you're in a group with 30 people that have walked this walk and they say, "Oh, when I'm bored, this is what I do." You got 30 people that say five different things, or maybe some of the same things, right? But if they say five different things, now you have 150 things that you can do when you're bored. Let's say that there's some duplication, right? Let's say there's 50% duplication. Now you got 75 things you can do when you were bored, which is 75 more than you had when you came into group, which was only one, which was eat. Right. And so now you've got permission. Now you've got resources, because here's the thing, you're going to be bored again. Whatever challenge we have, whatever obstacles that we have, they don't stop coming. They keep showing up. And we just keep having to go to our toolbox and keep using the tools on them. Oh, boredom, I got something for you. I know you aren't hungry. I know you aren't hunger, because I know what hunger feels like. This is boredom. This is what I do when I'm bored. Because Susie in the group did it, Joy in the group did it, Michelle in the group did it, Deborah in the group did it. I heard about you. I know about you. I know what to do with you. And so after a while, it just becomes automatic. when that thing that shows up in your stomach that you used to respond to with food because you thought it was hunger, but just because it was in your stomach, but you realize it was boredom, you can do something else. Then after a while, you don't even feel it, but it takes practice. It's a muscle. It's a muscle that you build. So that that's why the group work is so important, because it allows you to progress exponentially. It amplifies everything when you're in the group. That's not to say that you don't have to be in a group to do certain things, but you still have you need things in your life to do that,
Functional animals.
to do that for you. So I will tell you this, when I was on this journey, and this everything I do in my group, I did because I wish I had it when I was on this journey. That's how I created my program. It was every single thing that I used. But what I did when I was trying to kind of stay on this road, I would go online. I would go online every day and I would look at before and after pictures. And I would find people online that were about, where I was, right? Where I was or where I was at the time. And I would read their stories of how they lost weight. I would just like Google them. And that's what I would pour into myself every day. The possibility that was available to these other people so that I could see it for myself. And so that's why visualization is so important with the work that I do. There are four things that I do, that I teach in my workshops and in my 52 weeks of transformation. And I do these four things because these four things go directly to the work that the weight loss industry ignores, which is the mental work. And here's why I do it. Because the research tells me that 75% of people say, I'm an emotional overeater. I'm an emotional eater, meaning that I eat because I have these emotions that I don't know how to manage. I tie the food to the emotion, and I can't get this done. So the problem is not the food. The problem is I have emotions that I don't know what to do with. I don't know how to manage stress. I don't know how to manage fear, anxiety. I don't know how to manage sadness, grief. I don't know how to manage frustration. I don't know how to manage self-confidence, self-doubt. When those things come up, I don't even recognize them for what they are. I'm afraid of them. I don't know how to name them because I have been told I'm too emotional. I have been told just to power through it even when I don't feel like it. So we as a culture don't know what to do with emotion. So, and if you say you're an emotional overeater, the problem is not the food, the problem is the emotion. So, I teach people how to manage and navigate the emotion. For 52 weeks, we go through 52 different emotions. We do an emotion a week, and then every day we unpack that emotion with a partner. And so at the end of 52 weeks, this transformation that I told you about, at the end of 52 weeks, here's what will happen. There will be 52 emotions that you know how to manage that you will not believe are hunger. You will never confuse them with hunger. That's how empowered you will be. Because you use the writing. The writing takes it out of your head and puts it on paper. Taking it out of your head and putting it on paper. You do that over and over again, along with the meditation, along with the visualization, along with the affirmations which push the negative self-talk that we're all so burdened with. Oh, I never do anything right. 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 All the stuff that we have just internalized. There's sometimes stuff we don't even realize that we're saying. Oh yeah. This what oh, the struggle is real. I hear that all the time. The struggle is real. But you know what? The victory is real too. So why don't we say that? Why don't we? So as soon as you change your language from the victory is real, your posture changes.
Yeah.
Everything changes. So so we have words that we use that are disempowering us, and we don't even realize it. That we can change the energy, but we don't have anybody that's listening to us that can help us with that can give us something else to say. So I give people other stuff to say around all those principles that I get I share with you, the beginning believe all the way through the work. When we come to our coaching classes on Monday night, I come with like 7 different affirmations under each one of those categories. And everybody in the group gets to pick their affirmation for the night. And then we practice saying that. And we practice saying it as a group. And sometimes it's so interesting. Sometimes people will pick the same affirmations, but when they pick different ones, everybody benefits from it because they say it 3 times and then I say it for them 3 times. So they have their own voice and then they have somebody else cheering them on. So if you pick an affirmation that says, I honor my body and I take care of it, right? Then, and you say, I honor my body and I take care of it. I honor my body and I take care of it, right? Then I'm going to say, Joy, you honor your body and you take care of it. You honor your body and you take care of it. You honor your body and you take care of it. And I watch the faces of the people at the end of we do this at the end of the class. And I watch the faces of everybody on the screen because the classes are online. And I can see everybody's face in the class, how happy they look, when they feel this being poured into them. And that's the thing. The notion that you can do this work, go on a diet, call it what you will, and be happy doing it. That's not something that people think about. People don't want to do it because they think they're afraid of it. They think it's going to be hard, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. So we've got 75% of people say, I'm an emotional eater, right? That's what the problem is. But when you look at the industry, all of the solutions are about food. And so that's where the frustration comes. That's why people fail, because the solutions don't address what the real problem is. And that's what I do. I help people with what the real problem is. And when they solve that problem, then they can start making smarter choices about what they eat.
Yeah, the I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but the solutions, um, the solutions fit into the old mindset, right? So you don't say to yourself, I'm creating a new way of thinking about food that I will think this way 24/7, 365, forever onward. It's going to be something I will always be aware of forever onward.
Right.
It's not a diet that I'm going on this month. It's a diet for the rest of my life. And it's
Yes.
not a restrictive diet. It's a wise, thoughtful diet. So
Yes.
instead of that, it's like, take this pill. Oh, we've just discovered Ozempic. It's a miracle drug. And now everyone's on Ozempic. And
Yes.
it is a miracle drug.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it hasn't taught you, okay, you're an emotional eater. Okay, here's the issue. Okay, I mean, what are these people going to do? They're going to take Ozempic for the rest of their lives?
So I'm so glad you brought this question up. I just came from a conference, and it was a conference where this issue was at the forefront. And I want to be clear that I believe that if somebody feels like they need to take a drug, take it. If somebody feels like they need the surgery, do it. Right? Do whatever you feel like you need to do to get you from where you are to the next place that you need to be. But also understand that those solutions or those steps don't address what the real problem is. And that unless you do the mental work along with those things, you will still be miserable. And I heard it. I heard someone at this conference say, and they said, when I take the GLPs, the food noise goes away. And sometimes that's all you need for that noise to go. You need for that noise to go away. But the problem with that is the drugs don't deal with the thing that caused the noise in the first place.
Where's the noise coming from?
And so you have to figure out and be prepared and go to where the noise is coming from and deal with that. And that's what the visualization, that's what the affirmation, that's what the meditation, that's what the writing does. That's what being in the group does. It gives you a safe place to go to where the noise is so that you can deal with it. And because if you don't, you'll always be victimized by it. It will still live in you. You will still be crippled. You'll still be hampered by the stuff that you haven't dealt with, even though you don't hear it any longer. And so if you're looking for real freedom and you want real freedom, it is one of the reasons why when people talk about triggers, and I hear this a lot, you have to avoid your triggers, right? You have to know what your triggers are. All right, great. We can never know what all of our triggers are. Right? We can never avoid them. If we try to avoid them, we'll never leave our bathroom, and we might not be safe in the bathroom, right? The secret is disarming the trigger. That's the freedom. That's the freedom. And I am saying this, Joy, as a person who's a stone sugar addict. I used to go to Starbucks. I would get the lemon pound cake, the banana bread, and the sweet potato pound cake, or the sweet potato loaf. The sweet potato loaf. I would get all three of them. Eat them right there in the Starbucks with a cup of coffee and some Splenda.
Oh, the Splenda makes it okay.
That's what makes it okay, right? But I was just like, they would just slide down my throat in about 5 minutes. All three of them gone. Sugar addict stone. But now I can go into a Starbucks if I want to go in there and get whatever I want to get, right? And when I say whatever I get, if I want to get some water, because I don't really drink coffee anymore. But if I'm out and I want to go in there and I need some water, it's hot, right? The 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 fact that I can go into a Starbucks, all that same stuff can be sitting there and it not mean anything to me. I'm not white knuckling it. I'm not resisting it. I'm not like, oh no, I might, because I don't want it. That's the secret. When you don't have desire for something, you don't have to use willpower, self-control, and self-discipline. When you don't have desire, no one can sabotage you. And when you learn the truth and you start living in that truth and you start practicing that truth and you start seeing stuff for what it really is, when you start identifying things that are poisonous to your system and making a decision that you don't want poison in your system, and seeing something different other than what the advertisers want you to see, that's when you start to reclaim your power. That's when you start to rewire your brain. That's when you disarm the trigger. That's when you disarm all of that stuff, when you start stepping into the truth.
And also, one of the things that I was thinking about is that once you free yourself from eating all that crap, there's so much food out there and so many cultures that you can learn. I mean, so much good food out there. It's like, just today I was like, well, how many different ways can I eat? I'm growing kale, collard greens, and kale, collard greens, and Swiss chard, right? So I'm like, well, how many different ways can I make that? Because now it's like, it's becoming a forest out there. And I'm thinking, how many different ways can I make that? So I went online and I use artificial intelligence. So
Okay.
I went online. I said to Claude, I use Anthropic Claude. I'm like, Claude, how many different ways can I make this food? And I got 7 different ways. And wouldn't you know it, I made one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, this is going to be like, eh. And I took the first bite and I was like, oh. What I made was I took all 3 of them. I chopped it up really thin. I made it Asian style. So ginger, simple. Ginger, rice vinegar, and sesame seed and sesame oil. And I was like, oh. And then I put a little chili flakes on it to make it hot. And I was like, this is good.
Yes.
Now, most people would say, you ate raw collard greens? Yeah. But, trust me, go on the journey with Michelle, and that's
Yes.
what you'll be eating on the other side.
Yes. Absolutely.
And it was
Absolutely.
good. And I made it appetizing. I made it so that, it was appetizing. And I know, okay, you know what? I'm going to probably need a carbohydrate, real carbohydrate at some point. And it's not going to necessarily be, you know, chocolate cake. So I'm thinking, what can I do with my dinner to do the carbohydrate? That's how you begin to think, because
Mhm.
your body needs carbohydrates. That's why you go for those. That's why you go for the sugar.
Well, so
That's one way of getting those carbohydrates.
here's the thing. What our body needs is whole food. Our body needs fresh fruits and vegetables, high quality protein, and some good fats. That that's what I and so there's a simple carbohydrates, the complex carbohydrates, but what our body does not need is junk. Our body does not need what our body does not need the processed carbohydrates. That stuff is not even food because it is not nourishing. So we do need nutrition, nourishment, and energy, those three things, but all of that needs to come from real food, and we can get carbohydrates from fresh fruits and vegetables, right? Fresh fruit, and if you want to go the grain route, right, you can add certain grains in there, um, but not the refined stuff, not the grains that have been stripped of their nutrients.
Not the grains that are not grains. I don't know
Right?
what they are.
Yes, it's a lab experiment.
It's a lab leak.
That's what it is. It's a lab experiment.
And it's kind of scary. It
And
really
that's
is.
the reality. The lab experiment is not food. Our bodies
Right.
do not need the lab experiment.
Yeah. And once you realize that, I mean, if you're all you need to do is look at the ingredients. I mean, really, that's the shocker for me. That's what it does every single time. Oh, doesn't that look good? I could probably make. What is that?
Right.
I'm
Right.
like 4 lines of stuff, and half of them I can't pronounce. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that our bodies don't have chemicals in them. That's not what I'm saying. I understand that everything boils down to chemicals. But why are you eating raw chemicals when you could be eating food?
Right. Right. Right.
You don't
Because
have to eat cellulose. Da 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 da. It's pretty simple. Have a piece of lettuce. Okay. You need cellulose? No. Lettuce. Okay, I'll have lettuce. Wrap it up in a piece of lettuce. If you're looking at deli food, it's scary
yeah.
because half of it says, it will say something like meat product, or I'm like, what is the product part of this? It's a cow or a cow product? I want to know. Just and yeah, I know I annoyed my husband to no end because he'd say, I just want McDonald's, and I'm like, that's nice. I'll be,
Right.
I'm still cooking, so you could go
Right.
to McDonald's.
Right.
I'm still cooking.
Right.
Why don't you just have, just it's, you won't have to cook tonight. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll just take poison tonight. You'd be like, stop, I don't want to hear it. I'm like, well, that's what it is.
Well,
That's terrible stuff.
Joy, we have been
Unwashed.
we have been brainwashed to believe that convenient and quick is more important than our health.
And it's there. You don't have to have these really complex dinners.
No, not at all.
I
No.
mean, when I say sometimes I throw things together, I call it peasant food because that's exactly what it is. I'm like, okay, I have carrots, I have celery, I have onions, oh, tomatoes, chicken. Okay, and all I need to do is do it in the right order, and it's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
good. I mean,
I will tell you something, George. When we get off the phone, I mean get off this call, I'm probably gonna go have a can of beans. I mean, just and I say that to people, and they go, "What?" If that's all you're having, yeah. Right? Maybe, yeah, maybe beans on some greens. Yeah, it'll take me 3 minutes to make that.
That's what I'm saying. It's not really isn't that difficult. But once you get into the habit, I mean, it's gotten to the point where you have cereal for breakfast, and I mean, I get it. When I started hearing about the, I hope I'm saying right, glyphosate with on oatmeal, I was like, oh no, you've just destroyed my favorite food.
Mm-hmm.
So now I don't have oatmeal that often.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I mean, what I've done is I went from like very low fat yogurt to no, you know what? Put the fat back in the yogurt. Thank you very much. So
Uh-huh.
full whole milk yogurt,
Mm-hmm.
apples that I cut and I put in a dish. I call them my Pilot's apple pie apples. I cut
Mm-hmm.
them up, I put them in a dish, I put them in the oven, I cook them for a little while, I take them out. I usually put like a date on top of it, cut up dates,
Mm-hmm.
turn the oven off, put them back in the oven, it all melts into something. That's with my yogurt, some nuts on top, and I'm like, I'm happy.
Right.
Didn't take took me time to prepare it in up front, but in the morning it doesn't
It's there.
take.
It's there. Yeah.
It's very simple, and
It is all
I
whole food.
it's all whole food. I
Yeah.
mean, the yogurt. Yeah, I'm not making my own yogurt, people.
Yeah.
Yogurt basically says whole milk, enzymes. Oh, I could pronounce that.
Right. Right.
Dates. Dates. Again, it's
Yeah.
probably
Who doesn't love dates? I mean, my word. Yes.
or prunes or
Yes.
something. The thing is, I even go with like plantains. I discovered plantains and I found that I love them.
Yes.
I've even discovered how to turn a green plantain into a yellow plantain. And
Ooh.
trust me, it took a few years. I was like, why is some of them green? And I'm like, the same reason why some foods you buy at the store are not ripe yet.
Right. Yeah. It ripens. Yes. Yes.
I'm like, duh. So this is why I was saying there are a lot of culture out there that eat different foods, and because we do have that technology, the plus is you shouldn't be eating fast food. The plus is you should be trying different food.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Play with it. Again,
Absolutely.
it's fun. Play with it.
Yes. Yes.
Getting into the car and driving out to go to McDonald's, find a few things and play with it. If you're not a good cook, learn how. It's fun.
It's your life.
It's really, it is. It's right. It's your life. Why would you spend all this time and money to go on a great vacation to do these great things and then you just trash your body in
Mm-hmm.
along the lines? I don't understand that. It should be go on the great vacation, but that some of that money should be going to the temple that's going on the vacation. Because
But
again,
but
this
Joy, but
is a temple.
here's the thing, Joy. Part of this this trap this trap that we're in, it is one that has been pushed upon us. It is not our fault because we are constantly getting messaging that drives our behavior that we don't even realize it. We have to, once we wake up, then we can start shifting and changing. But we get messages all the time that tell us that this is right, that's telling us stuff that is wrong, that is right, and we don't know. If you're in the dark and the dark is all you've ever experienced, you don't know what the light looks like. You don't know it's dark. You don't know. So
It
it's
really
over.
it's a matter of marketing, and I I came from marketing. I mean, the brand of email and coffee is because I loved coffee and I loved email. I worked in marketing, um, and I get marketing, but there's the dark side to marketing. There's a
Yeah,
dark side to marketing,
yeah.
and I get it. I hear it, and it doesn't impact me anymore. If it says, only a few left, I'm like, that's nice. Let somebody else buy it.
Right, right, right.
I don't need one. I really don't. I've got 15 shirts. I don't need a 16th
Right,
shirt, even if
right,
it's the only one left.
right.
Okay. I don't care. Maybe I'm buying it on sale. The point of the matter is, I don't need it.
Right.
I don't need it. So, do
Exactly.
you really need the chocolate cake?
Exactly.
Do
Exactly.
you really need? Do you really
Exactly.
need the chocolate cake?
Yeah.
You know, there are things that you can substitute, and it's going to take time for your palate to adjust to real food.
Absolutely. That's true. It's all process. It is I mean, quite frankly, Joy, if anyone had ever told me, I don't know, 5 years ago that you would prefer, Michelle, you're gonna get to the point where you like beet salad more than you like bread pudding, I would be like, you're a lie. That's never gonna happen. That's never happening. But it's real. But it's true. It's real. I mean, it is. If I, when I did my TED talk, and I talked about, I'll never eat bread pudding. I'll never eat carrot cake. I'll never eat sweet potato pie. I'll never eat lemon pound cake. I mean, I looked at it and I thought, I never thought I would ever be saying those words and be happy about not eating those things, not just not eating them, right? But understanding, okay, when I ate them growing up, they were prepared and given to me in love, but I now see them for the poison that they are. So no, I'm not eating them, right? That's the work. That's the work. I
And it's
was
a
I
lot of
was
work.
blind, but now I see. I was blind, but now I see. This is that.
Yeah, exactly. And don't fool anybody. It's a lot of work. And it's easy to slide back because everyone will tell you that you're crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, just do it. Just come with us one week. Just have a glass of wine. One
Yeah.
glass of wine. One glass of wine, and I'll be eating the chocolate cake.
Right. Yes, exactly right.
So, I mean, you know, no, I don't need the wine and I don't need the chocolate cake. So, anybody want to
And,
go for a walk?
and Joy, you know what happens? What happens over time is that people learn. Over time, you teach people how to deal with you. Over time, people will say, "Oh, that's right. You don't eat this, do you?" No, I don't. They will say, "Oh, that's right. You don't drink it." No, I don't. But it's because of what I said. You learn to say no. And you understand that when you're saying no, you're saying yes to a different level of respect, right? And so over time, they're going to try, right, in the beginning just to see if you're true. But after a while, oh no, we didn't even tell you about that because we knew that they were going to have all that, whatever. Okay, fine. I didn't miss out on anything. I mean, thank you, right? Thank you. And I remember um, meeting and this was so sweet. I remember meeting a high school classmate for lunch. And I was visiting. She said, "Okay, let's go meet, and we can meet at there's a biscuit restaurant." Okay, okay, great. We'll meet at the biscuit restaurant. And so she called me a couple days later and said, "We can change the location. We don't have to go to the biscuit restaurant. We can go to Starbucks, right?" And she said, I didn't want to go to the biscuit restaurant in case it would be tough for you. I thought that was so sweet. And I said, no, wherever you choose is fine. Wherever you choose is fine because I'm going to be me wherever I am. It doesn't bother me, right? Uh, Maybe in the old days it might have, but I'm not. I know I don't eat that. I know that's not me anymore. I'm not that chick anymore. So you can have whatever you want. It's it doesn't have any effect on me. But that takes practice, that takes time, that takes reinforcement. That's a muscle that you build when you can clearly see I'm not I'm not
I'm not that person anymore.
I'm not that person. I'm not that girl anymore.
Right.
Yeah. And
And
that is so possible. That is
yeah,
so possible.
and a lot of people will begin to appreciate you for what you are, and will actually look forward. Like a few friends look forward to coming to my house because they know that everything I'm gonna give them is going to be home cooked,
Mm-hmm.
and everything's going to be healthy. And
Mm-hmm.
they know that, oh wow, and everybody says, what's in this and what's in that, what's in the other thing, this is so good, because I'll be making things that they would never make.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Come
Never.
come come here and get your mind open. Right.
Yeah.
Have a new experience.
We're eating chickpeas. This is chickpeas. Yeah, I'm here chickpeas and tahini. No, well, it's called hummus. Hello. Well, welcome to my world.
Yeah. Well, I had hummus and falafel yesterday.
There's that's those are the cravings that I get.
Uh-huh.
As odd as is, like you said, you're having beans. Last week I was like, I want beans. And like, okay, I guess you want beans. I'm like, thank God I have some greens outside because I can have beans with greens.
Right. Yes.
And I'm like, boy, am I weird. No one would say that. No one would come to that conclusion.
You know what? If here's what I say, Joy. If weird is going to save your life, if weird is going to protect you, if odd is going to save your life, if odd is going to protect you, be odd and weird all day long.
And really, the truth is that our bodies will tell us what it needs, and we've confused, we've mistranslated those. So when whatever it is that I want something salty, right? I'll say, oh, I want French fries,
Mm-hmm.
right? But now when I need something salty, it will be translated differently, and I'll be like, you know what? I need to have that salty food, like whatever it is, like it needs to be salty. So put a little extra salt in it because your body needs salt. When you start craving carbohydrates, then you've got to have, it can be, there's a difference between, I know from my cravings, a dense carbohydrate with just like a light carb. So a light carb would be like a fruit or a vegetable, right? But then there's like more of like, I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's get some sweet potatoes and let's get onions and let's do root vegetables tonight.
Yes.
And my craving goes, yes, root.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's not, I don't need the carrot cake. When I crave carrots, I cut them up. I either make a salad or I cut them up and I roast them. There's a bunch of different things you could do with food that can make it really interesting.
Absolutely.
And yes, you could drizzle with a little bit of honey. I don't usually like to do that because making it too sweet again will bring you over the line to that I need everything sweet concept. You have to realize that sweet is, I don't know how do I explain it in my head. It's sort of like a really very special thing because not everything is that sweet.
Yes.
When I make dates, they'll make a syrup out of just dates. That syrup is very sweet and very satisfying. And I've recently learned, only because I look at other cultures. A lot of other cultures, like Mideast cultures, have something called date syrup.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, so now I know why they have date syrup.
Yes. And you can get date sugar too.
Yes. And so that's when I crave a sugar, I understand, okay, you know what? There's a few very, very dense, complex carbohydrates that are going to provide that. That's what my body's telling me I need.
That's going to give you nutrients as well. So that's the thing. When you get real,
it's obviously that my energy is somewhat low. My body's telling me, no, I don't need. Sometimes my body says I need protein, and that's a different kind of energy.
Sure.
Like I just want protein. Can I just have wings for dinner? I don't want anything else. I'm like, okay, my body's telling me it wants protein.
Absolutely.
So we have to understand that and be able to translate that, what our body's telling us, cut past the marketing and realize what we need.
Absolutely. That's exactly right.
And that takes a while. And then you pat yourself on your shoulder and you say, I done good.
That's the wow. That's the wow. That's the W in brand new. That's the W. That's the wow. That's the celebration, right? That reinforces you, that allows you to continue to do it, right? take it to the next level.
And maybe then we'll live to we're 125.
At least. At least.
I'm not too sure about that, but like, oh, things are going to be so different when I get to that age. I don't know if I can deal with it. In any case, so I'm going to put information about where they can find you, and some workshops and things like that below in the description below. Can you tell the audience where they can quickly find you? Like what
Sure.
What's the easiest social or website or whatever?
Okay, sure. The easiest way to find me is just email me directly. I answer every email. It's Michelle@MichellePettis.com. It's MICHELLE Pettis, PETTIES, MichellePettis.com. Email me. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at I am brand new now, because it's a brand new way of thinking, right? And be on the lookout for Mind Over Meals. If you email me, I will send you the information about my upcoming retreat. It's an 8-day retreat online, or you spend an hour a day with me, and we go through specific principles that support you in your transformation around a particular issue that's related to emotional eating, and getting clarity and knowing the truth about why you eat what you eat.
Done so many good things. You said so many great things today. I really appreciate you coming by.
It's been a wonderful conversation. I thank you for holding space for conversations like this. Good work. Good work.
So, everybody, that's a hot wrap. Take care.